the standings, but they're top of the catching in the ground. Absolutely superb. It's nicely played, but this time just a single. Yeah, I heard you talk about the surface. They flooded it last night and then obviously gave it a roll. So it definitely seems to be playing a bit better than what we saw yesterday. 112 for 1 after 9.
And there we have a look at the pitch. It was the second day in a row. And as we've always spoken about at Supersport Park, it tends to be a very good wicket, especially in one-day cricket. This is a belter. And yet again, these Durban Super Giants batters, what I love about them, yes, they've been lucky, yes, they've played a few agricultural heave-hoes, but they've played some seriously good cricket shots in between, and score tells you a story.
Yeah, anyone who's going under 10 seems to be doing a good job. Tories starts with a wide.
If you look, I mean, the guys that have the top 3 or 4 run scorers in the tournament so far, for me, the one common thing they have all done really well is to begin off with, they've just played really good cricket shots. But once they got in, that's when they started to improvise. But yeah, when there's bounce, there's true bounce. It's all it's needed is good cricket shots.
Nicely hammered down the ground, and with this quick outfield, probably win the race. No, it won't. What a brilliant bit of fielding on the boundary. Could be Riley Rousseau.
Riley Rousseau earlier also saved a fantastic cover drive, making some hard yards there on the boundary, long on boundary. It's like a true number 9 there. Diving before the whitewash, saving definite boundary.
Just a single. And oh no, the knock-on will maybe allow for the second. No, it doesn't. Good recovery. Yeah, Hirsch, you talk about the leading run scorers. Well, all of them at the top of the order, aren't they? And that's why often when you're picking for these kind of tournaments, if you can get your top 3 in fine form, that's where matches and tournaments are won.
Yeah, and just like I said, just the observation. Look, Will Jacks, he's not here anymore, but definitely Butler and Faf du Plessis.
There it is, the end of Ben McDermott's innings. Wouldn't have been the greatest delivery, it was width, and he just tried to steer it back past backward point, and all he could do was pick out Neesham at backward point.
Yeah. You get close in that point here, you always feel that you're in with a chance there. And Jimmy Neesham, a couple of games ago, took an absolute blinder here point. This time, the ball came straight to him, took it very comfortably, head height there. And unfortunately for McDermott, he's got to make way for well played. 41 of 24. And DSG now 116 for 2.
Neesham has really got to go down as the catcher of the tournament so far. He took that absolute blinder a few weeks back at backward point. Took a brilliant catch of his own bowling today. And this one was easy compared to those other two. But a vital breakthrough for the Pretoria Capitals. Here's another change-up for the Durban Super Giants. I'm sure he'll be given full license. David Willey often comes as a pinch hitter when he's playing in England domestically and sometimes even for their national side. 3 matches, just 2 runs. But don't read too much into that. His international and domestic record suggests that he can make a contribution, and I think he'll be swinging from the outset. Left-handed option as well, just to make sure that they can try and target that short boundary. The other 2 who they could have brought in would have been Mulder and Bretsky. Those are both right-handers, so that might be a bit of the thinking as well.
Yeah, I think McDermott probably would have been a little bit upset with himself here, looking to angle it down instead of throwing the kitchen sink at it. And probably would have been a wide if he left it. But that's a sharp catch from Jimmy Neesham. Yes, we spoke about how good that other catch was a couple of weeks ago, but let me tell you, those ones come quickly. That came off the middle of the bat. and disappointed Ben McDermott. Just a point on David Willey. He's one of those batters who hits in funny areas. He's a guy who stands tall. He's a very strong. He's a burly guy, and he hits the ball in strange areas. You'll use, like I say, you usually stand up tall, hit them through the covers, but he's got a seriously good swing of the arc and hits it over mid wicket and hits a long ball. So if he gets going, the fireworks might continue.
But on the middle up in the ring. Short ball. Is that a little edge? Yes, it is. That was a fantastic delivery. Some real pace. And it gets through David Willey in a rush. Finds a little feather of an edge. And that's another wicket down for the Pretoria Capitals.
All right, I'm done building players. I'm done talking about batters. But that was a beautiful bouncer from Michael Pretorius. We saw how good the bouncers were early on in the innings. And that's another one that's on the money. Doing David Willey for pace. And a much-needed wicket from the Pretoria Capitals. Beautifully directed. An easy catch for Phil Salt. Big wicket for Pretoria Capitals. Brushing the glove. Lovely catch. After 10 overs, DSG on 118 for 3. David Willey goes for 1.
Yeah, it was actually interesting to watch the replay of that one. As he gets a little feather of it on, it sets the seam into a perfect upright position, which can sometimes be disconcerting for a wicketkeeper. Have a look at that. There, perfect seam up position, but goes through comfortably. Salt takes the catch. That's a good bit of bowling. Nice change up. So Vian Mulder, here comes the crease. 10 matches for him, just 152 runs, average under 20, and strike rate not overly impressive. So he'll be a little bit disappointed with the way his tournament's gone.
I think playing my first cricket match with a tennis ball when I was like 7 years old is always like my first memory when I think about cricket. And then my first game with the Wanderers.
Klaasen, once again, we've seen it in the international series and in this tournament. The ability to just hang back, even expose his stumps, but still look to caress the ball beautifully off the spinners.
And there we have the leading school in Pretoria and boys' schools, Pretoria Boys Eye, arriving to show their support for the Pretoria Capitals.
Oh, I think there might be some other people around arguing. I think there might be a name. Is it called Uffies?
No, but don't make a scene. Don't make a scene.
Okay, we'll leave it at that.
Oh, you get it!
Mulder off the mark, just nudges it straight down the ground.
Lovely, my boy!
Yeah, coming back to Mulder, Paul's batted up the order, batted in the middle order, so he hasn't really been allowed to settle in any one position. I thought the innings that he played in Durban was a couple of weeks ago as an opener, he actually did quite nicely on a very challenging surface too.
Yeah, when he walked in, they said top score 42. That was that knock, and we've always believed that he's got a lot of potential. He has been given quite a few opportunities, and people desperate for him to just kick on.
Oi, Senny, there's a price on that.
Do you look to, as the batting side of it, Hurst, do you look to, as a batting team, do you look to rebuild now, or do you look to carry on? Because the run rate's super high at the moment. They've got off to a really good start. 3 down, yes, we're getting into the all-rounders now, but do they carry on, or do they look to rebuild?
Catch it.
Length on offer. Heinrich Klaasen just quietly dispatches that straight back over Jasami's head for 4. Coming back to your point there, I think that to look at it again, right in the slot, straight back over the bowler's head. Fantastic shot. This game's about absorbing and then applying. That's superbly timed. Back foot punch, really, through mid-on for another boundary. After 11 overs, it's 130 for 3.
Yeah, how good is this? I think also of the batting lineup, they've got plenty of strikers: Pretorius, Maharaj, Kemar Paul. But you won't see anything better than that. Beautiful straight drive off the front foot. Change of length from Mutasamy, but it doesn't make a difference. To hit the ball with that immense power off the back foot straight down the ground is something special.
Yeah, and that, just carrying on from that point there, I think you have a batsman that's in now. You got Klaasen that's in, but you got Mulder that's only faced 2 balls. You just got to give him a couple of more balls just to get it, you know, the feel of the surface, get himself in. You can just keep on ticking it over, you know, play the ball very much on its merits. If it's full like Klaasen did, it's full enough. Good percentage shot straight back over the bowler's head, but you got to allow the batsman just to absorb a bit of pressure initially and then apply. It's not just about keeping the foot down.
11 overs completed, 8 of those have gone for 11 or more, so it's been impressive striking from Durban Super Giants. 9 overs to go. At this current rate, they're heading towards 236.
Ethan Bosch coming back into the attack. He'll be looking to do better than his first over. We're going to put under a little bit of pressure with that new ball. But this is what he's done all tournament. He's come back well after he's been put under pressure. But this is a completely different kettle of fish. DSG batters are on fire and looking to put as many runs on the board and apply and keep that pressure on, keep that foot down on the accelerator.
It's carved away, but it'll just be the single. He's trying to hit it with a bit of cut spin to try and beat the sweeper. He's done really well. 41 off 19, 215 strike rate for Klaasen.
Yeah, the guys that have generally, you know, the teams that have done really well, the guys that have got themselves in the top 4, they have gone in and got the 80s and 90s. And if Klaasen were to get out now, you have 2 new batsmen at the crease again, and then, you know, they absorb a bit more pressure. So you don't always want to keep applying. You just got to allow yourself to get in initially. The surface is good, but you still got to give yourself a chance. Always maintain that you can make it up. You always have more time than you realize. And, you know, 7, 8 overs, it's 9 overs. There's a lot of cricket still to be played. Plenty of runs to be scored.
Yeah, I think the job of Mulder while he gets himself in is to make sure there's no dot deliveries being bowled to him, that every opportunity they get Klaasen back on strike. That's clipped away. They're thinking of the second, and I think they should be able to actually get back comfortably. Even though it's a short boundary, the placement of that was superb. We talk about the projected score. We said it was 236. Record scores here at Centurion. 241 for South Africa versus England in the T20 in 09-10. 231 for the Dolphins versus the Cobras, and 230 for the Titans versus the Lions. So we could be on course if it's a bit more firepower at the back end for the highest 20-over score accumulated on this ground. You play shots like that. Oh, thought it was going to bisect them perfectly.
And I think DSG have got the option. They've got 2 very big hitters in Dwayne Pretorius and Kemar Paul to come next. Yes, Matthew Breski played a very good knock in Durban a couple of nights ago to take his team home. But I sense they'd be looking to send those 2 big boys in next.
I suppose Pretorius could be an option as well. I mean, his striking ability. 136 for 3 after 12.
They're the projected scores. That's a lot. And they need to get there after the start that they've got. Don't want to lose their way here. And Mulder in now, and he joins Klaasen. And Mulder has also been in decent touch. He's been asked to play a role and manage to show what he can do when asked to put the foot on the pedal.
Yeah, big numbers in those projected scores, but they'll be looking at all of them, that 2-3-2 number. They need absolutely everything this evening.
That's more. 6 more. Didn't quite get that. And it brings up 50. Heinrich Klaasen. It's off 23 balls. 6 4s and 2 6s. We've seen this from him before. They need 50 more at least from him alone. Oh, yes. Yes, sir. Oh, that is just beautiful. The first one was bludgeoned. That was caressed. Stroke for 4.
Well, they're absolutely playing their cards. The DSG, they played their cards in terms of bringing Klaasen in at number 3. There's no point keeping any of their big guns back in the hut. And there's no point for anybody coming out into the middle with any hesitation. They got to get a big score on the board, and there's not many that know this ground better than Quinten de Kock and Heinrich Klaasen, and there's no surprises that they're absolutely flying, both of them, this evening.
That's just nudged. Oh, it's taken some stopping too. It's pinged off his bat. Loving watching him bat. I'm pretty sure you are at home too, except if you're of a light blue inclination.
Yeah, but the light blues, they've got some points in the bag. The few different guys getting a game, they won't be too panicked about what's going on. But I tell you what, the DSG blue, they'll be saying, keep going. Don't take the foot off the gas. Just keep going. It brings up 150 now for the DSG. We're only 12.5 overs into this first innings, and what a innings it's been so far.
Nudged away, and he keeps the strike as well. 151 for 3.
Here's the highlights in so far of the Klaasen innings. 58 of 26 deliveries, and it's been flying to all parts. Some touches of class, a bit of fortune, but predominantly some fantastic stroke play. Power, class from Classy.
Down the ground is where he looks predominantly with the faster bowlers, and if the spin is over pitched, he'll go there as well, but he'll pounce on anything short. Oh, absolutely pounce. It bounces up here in the high felt, and so as he's gone along in his career, he's worked out how to play that, and looked, perhaps sometimes over the course of his career, looked too much for the short one, and he'd picked the wrong one. or miss out on some that are full, which happens. Here's Little. Bang! Is it enough? You betcha. It's over the boundary. The short one. 6 more.
Well, I'll tell you what, Poms, he's not holding back tonight. Anything that he can get underneath, he helps it on. He keeps his head down. And he knows he just needs to get it aerial. He needs to get it up in the air. And in the high felt, oh, well, she'll fly away. 6 more. Third 6 to Klaasen. Nearly as well. Hanging over for dear life, trying to keep his footing. Just not enough on it to bring the man in the crowd into play.
Oh, shot. Oh, yes, sir. He's shown us one off the front foot. This is one off the back foot. A wonderful square cut for 4.
We've been absolutely treated here by some incredible stroke play from Heinrich Klaasen. On the angle, backward a point, and if you win the ground, it's just absolutely pinging off his bat.
He's silencing them. They would rather he was in their blue, because then they could cheer all these runs on. Look at his scores here. This one's his highest. 68 not out. But look at how quickly he scores. 50 of 19 he did. He'll take one more. They've had problems, have DSG, over the course of the season. 7 50s in this competition, and all of them are shared between Quinton de Kock and Heinrich Klaasen.
Yeah, they've had the issues, but he's not been part of the problem. There's his competition so far. 4 50s to date. This one, his best at a serious strike rate. Strike rate of 237 today, and he's not done yet.
That'll be 4 more. A thuddy sound, it must be off the pad. The up leg buys for 4.
Yeah, he started his first over with just a single of his first over. This one goes for leg buys, doesn't go to his name, but his radar has been off. Since that first over, his radar has been off, pace on the ball, and he's not been able to stop the bleeding. As Little.
Nobody's going to stop that one. It's Mulder. He climbs into that one and he says, hey, I'm here too. Wonderful 4. The over's gone for 19. There's still a ball to go.
Tommy, I tell you what, there'll be 2 teams sitting on 19 points, keeping an eye on the DSG at the moment. Power Royals and Sunrisers Eastern Cape, because they're absolutely flying as the DSG. They got 170 of just 13.4 overs.
Oh, you've done it again! You've done it again and again! I can't believe this! Jimmy Neesham, what do you have for food? Because my goodness! Oh, what a catch!
Jimmy Neesham. Chip, unbelievable. I tell you what, Pom, there's a man in the dugout of the DSG team, and even though he's in the opposition, Jonty Rhodes, he will appreciate this. Unbelievable fielding from Jimmy Neesham. Wow. Wow, wow, wow.
How many times are we going to say it? We're going to say you'll be watching this over and over, and it's Jimmy Neesham on the end of it. That's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Can't believe it. Björn Mulder, well, you got to go, son. He's taken it. He's gone for 9. It's 170 for 4. And we need a lie down. We all do after that.
There's another one there. He's taken 3 today, then he's got 7. There's the one there that he died. Are you able to find it?
In comes Matthew Britsky. Let's look at his SA20 career. 79 runs and a best score of 48 not out. Was aggressive in that. Yeah, talented young man at 24, still trying to find his way. When he was round about 19 years old, many had already said, oh, this one, watch this one, as happens at the excitement when you see a youngster turn up. But as we've seen in this game, it takes some time, takes a long time for others. And you've got to be patient and just keep working. 4 down now, DSG. That man Neesham is bowling now. Yeah, that's the one, Joe.
Yeah, absolutely loving it down in the dugout. And I'm sure, even though he's in the opposition, he would have appreciated that. Jonty Rhodes, absolutely fantastic. Jimmy Neesham, tell you what, if we were running a classic catches competition, well, he'll be featuring all over it.
Aerial for a little bit, but is off the mark straight away as Britsky. What they want DSG here is a situation where the momentum continues. And what he's got to do is make sure he's not chewing up many balls and he gets going as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I reckon they got 1 over. He's got 1 over. Yeah, has Britsky 1 over. They've got to try not to lose a wicket. Another wicket. They don't want to go back to back. 1 over, and then Klaasen put the foot down again. Britsky put the foot down. You got to keep going.
Shot. A full toss, and he could have picked anywhere in the ground. With a gap as wide mid-on, and he's placed it there beautifully.
Steps across his crease again. Gets it on the full, and the placement. The placement, fantastic. Klaasen, he's in absolute overdrive at the moment. Who's going to stop him? He's 74 of 31, 238 strike rate. Is he going again?
Just extra bounce on that. You heard the groan as well. I don't know if you did at home, but extra effort in it. Decided, well, I'm going to go middle of the pitch. And Klaasen thinking, ooh, I could have tucked in.
Well, he went again, didn't he? He went again, and third man was up. He just needed a little bit of something on it.
I don't think he was going third man. I think he was going square for 6. That'll be all right. He's not happy with that, Klaasen. He's looked at Adrian Holstalk and held himself, bit his tongue.
Yeah, he just sort of blew some air out, didn't he? As if to say, just a little bit closer to me, and it's flying out the ground, son.
Yeah, excellent second half of the over with ... and it's only gone for 6 under the circumstances. That's fantastic. 176 for 4. Yeah, Nisham, I tell you what, I was sitting square there and saw that. The reaction always tells you. This is today. Easy enough, that one, in comparison. Went straight to him. This didn't, though. Oh, wow. Just wow. Take a bow, Jimmy. And keep going. We love watching it. It's a part of the game that's important, but can also have people in the crowd and those who are watching talking about it.
Well, that's a massive part of the game, Pom, and you always find that teams who are fielding well, that's how you measure them. They generally well-oiled teams when they have a good fielding team, and it's no surprise to see the Capitals right at the top of the list in terms of the table. Well-oiled team, fantastic fielding unit, batting unit, bowling unit, and at the moment, well, they're obviously setting the pace in the competition, so they're the team to beat.
They're under the pump here. Fetched and deposited. He's batting magnificently. It's gone all the way, that. Just checking to make sure.
Six more, Heinrich Klaasen. Don't stop, son. Keep going.
Third is up in the circle, so that'll go off for 4 as well. He's finding the boundary regularly.
You know, Pom is batting with absolute clarity in his mind about what he wants to do, where he needs to go. This time it's wide outside off. He probably wants to drag it, but he knows that it's wide and he can't drag it across. And at the last minute, he just opens the face. He keeps it open for as long as possible to make sure that he can slice it over backward of point.
Come on, Heine, pick the gaps. What you doing?
He's been in absolutely sublime form. He's off. He's on to 85 of 37 deliveries. Flying. There's the Durban Super Giants. They can get up to 19 points if they get a bonus point tonight, and they're doing a lot here for their run rate as well.
Yeah, those bonus points, so important. Look at Pretoria Capitals, 3 of them. It separates them from the pack. Oh, touch shot. Some finesse for 4.
Fantastic touch. Fantastic touch from Matthew Brezka. He's joining the party. Just opening the blade. Wow. From outside leg stump, touch of class.
Just short. And he'll take a single. And he'll retain strike. That over's gone for 17. 4 to play. It's 193 for 4. They're looking lovely. As Centurion, many people, as you can see, preferring the grass embankment. Nice out there. Look at most runs here, and Hannah Klaassen's gone to 344. He's hunting down Faf du Plessis.
Yeah, what a quality innings it's been from Heinrich Klaassen. He was in such great touch in the South Africa-England series as well, and he's continued on his merry way. Yeah, it really has been thoroughly entertaining. Everything on the line, they had to put it all out there, did the Durban Super Giants, and they've done exactly that. Projected to get 241. That would equal the record as the highest score in this ground in any form of T20 cricket. And that is the key for Bretsky. Just get a single and get Klaassen back on strike.
And if they happen to get to 200, they'd be the first team in this tournament to get 200 twice. So they're well on their way to doing that.
I think they got 190 as well, didn't they? In Kingsmead, I think it was 192 with Klaassen. I think he hit 24, 25. Here's how you can get involved in the fan craze. $10 welcome reward, fancraze.com. Scan to claim yours. Some wonderful digital memorabilia and cards.
As good as Klaassen's been, must say, one Jimmy Neesham, unbelievable in at backward point there. And one Jonathan Neil Rhodes, you could see appreciating that too.
Flipped away. This will be a single. Yeah, talking about Johnny Neesham. He picked up 3 catches tonight. And he's the third person in this tournament to pick up 3 in the field. Keshav Maharaj did it. Dadswell did it. And now Neesham tonight. He's still got the opportunity to take a 4th. And we wouldn't put it past him. In fact, he's shown the way, hasn't he? I mean, talk about Betway 2 million catcher competition. I mean, everything he catches these days is one-handed. Bretsky flays, just picks out backward point. They decide not to go through.
Yeah, and the home supporters are taking the cue from the standard of catching on the field as well.
Yeah, that's not easy. I mean, on your follow through to get your hand down there, and if the ball's dipping, it's dying as it gets to you. I mean, this we shouldn't even be showing. I mean, this is cannon fodder for Neesham. It's straight to him. It went at actual pace, though, I must admit. Bretsky swings and misses.
Yeah, and the nice thing about it is he's nice and close there with the bounce square of the wicket. You always feel like you're in with a chance, and the tighter you are, you obviously make that hang. You cut down the angles, but man, it's been fantastic to watch. As there was that too.
Yeah, there's no truth in the rumor that one of these is Jimmy Neesham's brother. Q end. It's just going to be a single in the end. Swung as hard as he could. That's a nice change up by Josh Little. He's bowled a good over. Yeah, he's been put to the sword a little bit tonight, but as a bowler, you often just have to focus on the next over, don't you, Morris?
Yes, I would agree with you there, Polly. It's there's nowhere to hide when you win the game when the balls like that. Well, the balls are flying like this today. Good wicket in Centurion. When the batters are in form like this, it's a difficult thing to get over.
That's not odd for the middle of the bat, but they're thinking of 2. And in fact, they are going to come back. Neesham's the one who does the fielding. And that is a quality over from a Pretoria Capitals perspective. Just far from it. 198 for 4. 3 to go.
And probably just to get back on that point of getting over it. When there's nowhere to hide, you've got to develop quite thick skin. I mean, for us bowlers that we used to bowl after death, I always used to say that you've got to forget the ball. Yes, every ball's an event that everyone keeps talking about, but you've got to forget what happened to the ball before. You can't harp on what's happened, and that thick skin, you need to develop it quite quickly because there's nowhere to hide, and especially in the professional game these days, especially the way the guys play the game, the way the guys hit the ball. And probably, as you would say, with the bats they have these days, there's nowhere to hide as a bowler. So you've got to develop that thick skin and get over it quite quickly and focus on your next task.
There are the winners. Some fantastic catches there, 9 of them. And just have a look on the right-hand side. Durban, Gqeberha, Pretoria 5 times, Gqeberha and Johannesburg. Nothing from the Western Cape, Hirsch. Nothing.
That's what you call putting your hand in the hat. And they've done it superbly. They never needed a hand. But, yeah, look, Pretoria Capitals leading the way, and the crowd is following suit.
It's at 222. We needed Richie Beno to announce that prize money. Would have made a special announcement of it. Pretoria into the attack, swing and a miss. Bretsky 9 off 8 in the context of the game, or 9 off 9 in the context of the game. It's not impressive striking. And Hendrik Klaasen just going down to him saying, listen, hold your shape. Anything at worst, you just knock it around and get a single, get me on strike. I'm in good touch, and I'm feeling like I can clean up at the back end for these last 3 overs.
Yeah, and Bretsky's known for his shot making. He just needs to play a few cricket shots here.
That's nicely played. That's good. Another opportunity for a catch. Oh, it's knocked on. But that is a wonderful strike. Whatever advice Hendrik Klaasen gave to him, at this stage, with the way Hendrik Klaasen's playing, I'd be listening to everything he's telling me, and it seems that Bretsky's done exactly that. That was right off the middle. Beautifully played.
Absolutely beautiful cricket shot there. Waited a little bit longer this time, kept that head down. And that will bring up the 200 for the Durban Super Giants in the 18th over. This is the score they were after before the game.
That's bludgeoned as well. It's going to be a couple of bounces away to the boundary. Yeah, the 200 that we talked about is the fastest in the tournament. 17.2 overs it took to get them. The best other 200 is 18.5. So they are on target for not only the highest score of the tournament, but also the biggest T20 score ever achieved on this ground. Wow. I was just taking my breath to see if I was going to cover the man at Deepwood Point, and it covers him comfortably. And Bretsky is now starting to find his strike rate.
They're thinking you've got the 2 big boys in the shed waiting to play the big shots. And Matthew Bretsky showing what he can do, and that is a ridiculous cricket shot. Yes, high fault, we always talk about it. Thin air. But that is a serious cricket shot, and good flair, but a calypso cricket. Take a photo, enjoy it, because that was a serious shot.
Yeah, it's a favourite shot. When he came in to play an innings the other day, he was describing how when he was growing up there was a window on the leg side of where they used to play their cricket at the house. He wasn't allowed to play through the leg side in case he broke the window, but he can certainly play through the offside. Misses out in that last one.
It would be quite funny if one of the batsmen actually took his phone out and while holding the pose took a selfie.
No, Hirsch. Don't put any ideas. No. Next thing, Shamsy will be doing it. Don't give them any ideas. They're not allowed to have their cell phones on the ground. You should know that.
You just got to make sure his hammies aren't loose enough for that. That's all. Oh, but that is some pose, that by young Matthew Bretsky.
That's up and over. Yes, it's enough. So that ends the over. A good over of 20. 2 dot deliveries. 6-4, 6-4, 0-0. 218 for 4. So that boundary takes it past the highest score achieved in the Betway SA20. 216 was the record before. That was at Kingsmead. Yeah, in Africa they always talk about being careful of the wounded buffalo. Well, they've come into this encounter, Durban Supergiants, and they've been wounded. The way they've played in the tournament hasn't been at their best. They had nothing to lose, and having lost the toss, they had to compile a decent score. At this current rate, it'll be 242 after the next 2 overs are complete. Heinrich Klaasen will probably be thinking of loftier heights than that. He's got 12 to get himself to 3 figures. But they definitely are giving them a chance of springing a surprise. Jimmy Neesham for his 4th and final.
I think there'll be a certain orange team sweating bullets at the moment tonight, probably. The way this game's looking. Yes, we're not even halfway yet, but there's one way to play bonus point cricket. This is the way to do it, as Heinrich Klaasen mentioned before the game.
Yeah, that delivery misses the leg stump quite comfortably in the end. It was a bit of an attempt to try and avoid being the fact that the bails weren't dislodged. If they had gone for a rebound, but the bails weren't dislodged, then they could have run. The rule in this tournament, if it makes contact with the stumps and the bails come off, have a look here, nice and close. Poop, just a little nick we heard on our stump mark, but the bails didn't pop off. Thick edge, bonus boundary, 1 bounce, and it's away.
Bretsky is throwing everything at it, and the kitchen sink. Thick outside edge, and over short 3rd man for yet another boundary.
That brings up a 50 partnership between these two in no time. 26 balls. This is exactly what their team has needed.
But I like the way he's thinking it. If you get an edge, you don't hold the pose. If you hit it in the middle, you can hold the pose.
Spoken like the true Herschel Gibbs. Oh, Jimmy Neesham is not having a good relation with umpire Holstock. It's the 2nd wide of the over, and he is not impressed by this decision. A shriek of disappointment. He's looking straight at the screen. He wants to see why. I don't know. I think I'm in the Jimmy Neesham camp here. Especially at this stage of the innings, it's always touch and go. I mean, it's only a guideline, that red line, and we have to acknowledge that. It's not cast in stone, but umpire Holstock says, no, I'm not happy. And he says, the line belongs to me. Sorry, bowl it again. That's going to be number 3.
Well, I can guarantee you from personal experience, if there's an umpire that will not be fazed by a player's reaction, it's Adrian Holstock. Gets on with the job and knows what he's doing, and you need to crack on with your job. That's what he'll tell you.
Yeah, that one was a no-brainer, the last one. Bretsky's got 33 or 15, 89 or 40 from Klaasen. It's nicely played, but will be cut off. Good stop by Miguel Pretorius. Looks like he might have done himself a bit of an injury to the back. Went into that hyper-extended position as he dived to cut off. Make sure it didn't go to the boundary. Didn't come from the middle of the bat, off the inside half. Just that point there. Slight hyper-extension. Round the wicket from Neesham. Same tactic he employed to Heinrich Klaasen. That's middle. That's going to be out the ground. Yes, it is. 95 now for Klaasen.
Another clean strike downtown. This time, Henrik Claassen.
You've got to be so sure of your length in Pretoria. If you're going to go for that Yorker, you'd rather miss it slightly fuller. And Dimonisium landing that in the slot. In the form that Henrik Claassen, he's not going to miss out. That's a beautiful shot.
Doesn't middle that one, but it will, fortunately for him, land short. Mistimed, and he would have had his heart in his mouth a little bit, Henrik Claassen. That one means he goes to 96. One delivery to go in the over. 234.
How many balls is left?
There's been 100 in the tournament so far. Faf du Plessis, it took him 54 balls. At this rate, Claassen's just been there for 42. Single to end the over, 17 from the penultimate, 235 for 4. Yeah, as far as the leading run scorers go, Henrik Claassen, he was in a battle we saw earlier with Faf du Plessis. We wait to see, has he got him? No, he hasn't. Still 14 short, but there's still an over to go.
I find interesting about the leading run scorers here is that Pretoria Capitals have been leading basically from game one that they've played, and they've only got one batter in the top 5.
Yeah, it's been quality at the top of them. I heard Full Salt get some runs as well, and Mendes, when he stepped in, he's played his role. But the thing too, Durban Super Giants, they've got 2, but they're trying to battle for qualification. Miguel Pretorius, he's been entrusted with the last over, and he'll have to hold his nerve. That short boundary, he's got 2 men up on the leg side behind square. So I mean, he's going to go for the wide line. I think that's going to be the approach. Every single delivery here, he'll be risking trying to go for wides. Claassen goes, no, Bretsky, sorry, goes across and doesn't manage to get hold of it.
Yeah, the previous over, Victoria's had the mid-off up in the ring. Couldn't find the Yorker. This time he's dropped the mid-off back, and good thinking. At least Bretsky then try to get inside and lap him. Shame the stumps, clear the leg.
They're so strong to the offside. Maybe go half a foot across and then just try and stand as still as you can. There's an example of it. Up and away. The crowd catches on. Oh, down she goes.
What a cricket shot that is. Well, you just spoke about how good he is over cover, but that is a ridiculous cricket shot. And I tell you what, there were bodies flying to get that ball.
Yeah, sometimes your mind can get a bit clouded by the short boundary, but that's his strength. So just as he did, just shimmy across and then wait for that wide line delivery. You can still up and over it. The way he's played it over the offside has been superb. Bit of a fumble, and to ground she goes. Top edge, will it land safely? Oh, it does. And it's going to go for a bonus boundary as well. Little put in the attempt to try and take the catch. Couldn't get underneath it. I suppose the only concern from a spectator's perspective is Claassen isn't getting on strike.
No, but Bretsky's still, he's just having a whale of a time here. He's just swinging at everything. But fortune with him at this on this occasion, falling short of a little at third man, but couldn't manage to stop it.
245 for 4. He middles that one as well. If the catch gets taken, Claassen will still not be on strike. It goes down, and he does get on strike. Claassen had worked it out in his mind. He was looking down at the ground thinking, oh dear, it's another ball gone, and they're probably able to catch taken, and I'm going to have to go back to the non-strikers end. Not to be. He is now on strike. He's got 2 deliveries. Can he get himself to the 3-figure score? Can he get the Durban Super Giants to 250?
When it's your night, it's your night. Bretsky playing that shot that he's played so well all evening. I'm a little bit disappointed with that drop, but I tell you what, for the home crowd, this is exactly what they wanted. Henrik Claassen on strike, 96.
Ripple of applause. Yeah. He middles it, and that's it. The arms are up in the air. He punches the air, and what a fantastic knock that is from Henrik Hendrik Klaasen. He has put on a display of supreme hitting here at Supersport Park. 43 deliveries, 100 on the board, and he celebrates like he should.
Hendrik Klaasen acknowledging his family who are watching him here tonight, his little girl, and acknowledging this Centurion crowd. He's a homeboy, they'll know him well. But guys, what about that shot to get to 100? That is an absolute monster.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Takes them to 250 as well. 6 sixes, 10 fours. He is in the form of his life and playing in a sublime manner. One delivery to go. What can he do to finish things off? Flat shot, and it's dropped. They're not going to come back for the second, or oh, they are. So bonus 2 runs. They end up on 254. Klaasen ends out not out on 104. And what a bit of entertainment we've had in this first 20. A thoroughly impressive 254. And Durban Super Giants have given themselves a chance of winning, and winning with a bonus point.
Gee, I feel like I've got to take a breath. And that's the shot to get him to 100. And look at the celebration. What a moment. That's the fastest 100. They've only been 2, but that's the fastest 100 in the Betway SA20. And what a way to do it. And there's his team. They absolutely love it, as they should.
Yeah, what a moment for the Durban Super Giants. What a moment for Hendrik Klaasen. What a moment for his family. He's playing for the opposition, but he's the hometown boy, and he has put on some sort of display here this evening. Carved it to all parts of the ground, and every time he's tried to pull off a big shot, he's kind of middled it, sent it over the boundary rope. I don't know if we're going to be able to get an interview with him, but we'll be trying as best we possibly can. No surprise, he just wants to get those pads off. He must be on an absolute high after what he's just done. Okay, it's not going to be Hendrik Klaasen. Matthew Breske, I think he's with Cass Nadu. Cass, take it away.
I'm with Matthew Breske. What a partnership that was. You must have enjoyed it out there alongside Hendrik Klaasen.
Loved it. Klaasie's knock was, to be honest, unreal. Just to be watching that at the end, it was special.
A good start with Quinton de Kock getting those fireworks going. You had a couple of wickets falling. What was the key to this partnership and the momentum you gained?
I think, to be honest, if you look at all the guys that did well, they played cricket shots. And sometimes on this wicket, we can get carried away with it. Cricket shots got us there, so, yeah, happy days.
Highest score in the competition, a must-win game, a crunch game for your team, and you got the runs on the board.
We got the runs, and now it's time for the bowlers to do the job. So hopefully they can do the job, but yeah, we'll see.
Good wicket. It looked like a good track, and a fantastic outfield as is expected at Centurion.
Yeah, like you say, they're top of the league. So, you know, hopefully today's their bad day.
Well played today.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, great to hear the thoughts of Matthew Breske. He played superb for his 46, and the partnership was 84 of 36. But the man of the moment, Hendrik Klaasen, this was the biggest moment of his SA20 career. Out the middle, it was probably only a third of the way to the bank, but he could start the celebrations. He knew it was off the middle of that bat, and when it's off the middle of that bat at the moment, it's not going to be caught by anyone except someone in the crowd. His team are up, giving him the applause. And so he should get them. It's fascinating also to listen to Breske say, we've done our job, come on bowlers, step up to the plate, and they all need to. If they're to have a chance of qualification, they have to win by a bonus point.